Okay, that's on. Okay, Steve, could you tell us what happened to you and when?
Okay, in March of this year, I'd had some decorative stone delivered to my house, 4 big bulk bags, and it was a Saturday morning. Me and my 2 boys were decided to, well, we had to move it from the front of the garden to the back, so we had a couple of wheelbarrows and off we set. The boys did the vast majority of the work, but the next day I woke up with, I didn't have any twinges on the day, but the next day I woke up with a band of pain, severe pain across my back. I just thought I'd done too much, and then that was quickly followed by my left foot starting to drop, and I became sort of more worried at that stage and went to A&E. After an MRI, it was identified that I had prolapsed 3 discs, T6 and L3 and L4. To cut a long story short, there was some complications, and I was in hospital for 6 months. I've had some great compassionate care whilst I was there, and the fundamentals of what I require were done in a very efficient and very effective and caring way. So how to manage my bladder, how to manage my bowels, the importance of skin, managing your skin, and then being able to use a wheelchair and transition. I think the care that I received around those areas was fantastic, and like I say, at a time when I wasn't feeling at my best, I received some really great, compassionate, fantastic care.
What position did you find yourself in before you contacted the Rehab Physio?
Okay, so when I left, as I was leaving hospital, the commentary was around, you've done really well for a T6 injury, you've done really well to get where you are now, and you may see some improvement in the future, but don't live your life waiting for it to happen, was basically the parting shot. And I sort of left the hospital, and I suppose became resigned to the fact that I was going to be in a chair, and I was going to be living my life in a very different way. I went out for a pint with my friend, and he said, "Is this it? Are you giving up?" And I said, "Well, I've worked really hard to get where I am now over the last 6 months." He said, "I know." He said, "But is this it? Are you giving up? It feels like you're complacent, and that's..." And he really challenged me, and I sort of went home to my family and sort of had a conversation around it, and they all sort of said, "Well, it does feel as though you've become resigned to being as you are." So I had a chat with someone from the Spinal Injuries Association about options, and he was a great chap, and he offered me several different organisations, and this was one of them. We came to visit my wife and myself to see what it was all about, and I remember being quite sceptical, thinking it's the first time I've ever gone outside of the NHS for care, and like I say, I was quite a doubting Thomas really around whether this was an option for me, but from the assessment and from the chat, it became very clear very quickly that this was something that I would want to pursue. It was right from the first day, I sort of developed a sense of hope that there might be something different waiting for me.
Okay. And so I'm going to ask these 2 questions together, Steve, because you kind of overlapped a little bit. So it was, what was the first thing you found whilst attending the Rehab Physio, and what have you found helpful from coming to the Rehab Physio?
I suppose the first thing that influenced me when I came in through the doors was that it's a big, bright sort of environment. It looks as though and is that you have all the new equipment and the technology. But the biggest thing that sort of hit me was that people were more willing to be hopeful for you. And through my care within the NHS, and again, I'm not disrespecting it at all, people understandably didn't want to give you any false hope, and I don't think for a second I've had any false hope here. But what I have had is clinicians willing to give you their clinical view around what possibly might be around the corner for you if you work hard. And that struck me more than anything, and it shocked me at first. But no, all of the people here have really helped me to think about to think that there might be options going forward.
Okay. Where is your progress today, having been... Hold that thought 1 second, actually. See. There's been a lot of movement of equipment that's really noisy. I don't know if that's you or that's Tom in the toilets or anything like that, but we've really got to limit that. There's been like just dragging on the floor, something like that if possible, just for 5 minutes. We may well be picked up on it, I don't know. Okay, sorry Steve.
Okay.
Where is your progress today, having been treated at the Rehab Physio?
I've gone from 6 months ago, just being able to move my big toe, and I've worked hard within my inpatient stay, and I got to a stage where I was efficiently, effectively getting about in my wheelchair and going out my business. No one had really given me the opportunity to walk, and since I've been here, I'm on the intensive programme, and this is my 9th day. And yesterday on my 8th day I walked across the gym here several times, supported by a hoist, but that was there as a safety net as opposed to something that was actually holding me up, and it was a very, very significant moment for me.
And you've kind of answered this already, but if you could succinctly sort of say in a sort of nutshell, what are your hopes for the future?
My hopes for the future? I want to be realistic in terms of what I might be able to achieve, but I don't want to underplay the potential that I have. I really believe that if you work hard and you concentrate and you listen to the specialists, and that I think my wheelchair will feature in my life, but because of my stay here, I don't think I'm going to be relying on it as much.
Good man. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for speaking from the heart.
Thank you. I hope it's come out all right.